So, Fatman,
They let you out of rehab early again. You weren't on the show last night. What? How are you on the show tonight? I don't understand this rehab stuff.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to form your response in the form of a question.
What is your douchebag?
Wow. How dare you? Let's talk about that more on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fatman.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. First, let me be first to say welcome back to Sleazy G. Or Heavy G is back here today in the house. And of course, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't make any sudden movements. He gets scared.
I can't believe it. Mr. Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
You gotta do the yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for the yeah.
I wasn't sure if I should do it or not, just because, trademark, copyright infringement.
We'll do it. Don't care.
I'm already probably going to get kicked off of YouTube and
we already have like 4 different lawsuits pending. We're good. It's fine.
Yeah.
4 is minimum at any one time. Yeah. But yes, thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Kevin J. Callis, host of Wrestling Jeopardy. Also, one of the things that we don't really talk about, you also do another YouTube show.
I did. Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. It's not every day you get an email from a guy named Sleazy asking you to join to interview you. So, I mean, how could I resist that?
Right?
I was just like, I'm in. Let's go. Now, I started wrestling behind the themes back in August of 2021. I've always been a huge wrestling music fan. I worked in radio for years, so music is like, I just have wrestling themes. Every time I walk around, I have like Bret Hart's Heart Foundation theme in my head as I'm like just grocery shopping and stuff like that. So it was a huge, it's always been a huge passion of mine, but this Wrestling Jeopardy thing kind of came out of nowhere. So I kind of took the ball with that and started running with that a couple of months ago.
It's amazing the work you've been putting into it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. We're all trivia nerds here. As much as I love to say that I enjoy it, I will always say I'm not the greatest at it. Fatman and Ryan are like the two complete, absolute, domination of all trivia around here. But we all hold our own little arenas, I guess you'd say. But
there are different levels of fandom and what people know and stuff like that.
Speaking of fandom, let's kind of go back in the past a little bit with you. What really started your love of professional wrestling?
I just grew up watching it with my dad. I mean, it was just something we started doing. My first memory is I remember watching like a WWF Saturday morning show. It was Hulk Hogan versus Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who is my favorite wrestler of all time. The Hulkster beat Mr. Wonderful. And I just remember crying profusely, running to my room because I've always hated the Hulkster. I just never liked the good guys. So, and my dad was like teasing me the whole time. And, but that just kind of started this love affair with wrestling, going to see WrestleMania 1 down at the Sheraton Georgetown closed circuit TV, going to the old Pep Center. Yeah, I am showing my age, right? I was 9-ish. I worked for a cable access TV show in high school, and then kind of there's been ebbs and flows of fandom. through the years, you get married and like you don't want to, and you date people and you don't want to tell them that you're a wrestling fan. But now I'm like, now I'm loud and proud, and it's like, yo, let's go. So
over the years, the stigma of being a wrestling fan has changed all the way up and down. You know, I think nowadays, more so than even in the last 10 years, wrestling has become less of a dirty word. You know, and to be able to have those more open conversations with other people about professional wrestling is amazing. It's not the same of, oh, you know, it's fake. Yeah. Like movies are fake and TV shows are fake and whatever.
Everybody knows it's fake now.
Yeah, but they get the entertainment behind it. And I think that's either you like that or you don't, but a lot of people don't like traditional theater. Some people like or don't like movies. Some people don't like certain TV show genres. You know, it's what you desire, what you love in life.
And I think that's one of the kind of the cool things about Wrestling Jeopardy is that you see different levels of fandom. And if somebody's been around for decades and they remember the old school territories and they want questions about that, and then there are folks a lot younger than us who are just, they want ruthless aggression, and that's all they know. And this past episode we did WCW, that was interesting because there were a lot of bad scores. Not that there's ever a bad score, but just not. I was surprised that not a lot of the viewers knew as much about WCW as I might have thought they would.
It's interesting. Do you believe that professional wrestling as a whole has gotten more segmented, if you will? Like when you talk to fans in your normal course of Wrestling Jeopardy and Behind the Music as well, do you see more of newer fans that came around to you where they don't like John Cena's early stuff is the earliest they've ever gone back? You know,
let me piggyback on what he said. Like the WCW is like the scores were bad. Maybe we're in a YouTube era now. People who are younger watch YouTube, so maybe they just are old enough to remember it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
like that's
you would get people, they would comment and say, well, I only know WCW from the invasion angle.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, well, you're missing some good stuff, and you're also missing some pretty bad stuff too.
So, and that's the best part of the Shockmaster and Oz and the Ding Dongs and Big Josh, like
the Hunchbacks,
right?
Or the Yeti.
That's the wrestle crap. I mean, I enjoy the wrestle crap as much as the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's kind of go down the YouTube realm as well, because we all grew up on watching wrestling, but as wrestling has gotten more into, once again, the world of YouTube, you're starting to see a lot more of podcast video stuff, OSW review, what's his face, Matthew, and Botchamania, stuff like that. Do you believe that YouTube is going to be, or TikTok, excuse me, is going to be the next generation of stuff like that?
I don't know. I mean, TikTok is such a interesting medium. I've tried to penetrate that and do shorts and do TikToks, but just the attention span of this next generation. And I mean, I have 3 kids. I mean, I have the attention span of a gnat. I don't know what you call the attention span that they have. I mean, it's like 3 seconds. Like if you don't hook somebody like at the beginning of a YouTube video, like they're gone. You look at the analytics and they're gone. And you're just like, I don't know what do I need to do? Like, I'm afraid to put like an opening because people might click off and leave. So I don't know. TikTok, I prefer, I mean, it's just us. Like you want a screen to watch your content. Like
Yeah.
I can't look at this and just watch and scroll and think that I'm gonna enjoy watching wrestling this way. You know, it's like, what was the thing that was like we've gone through Periscope, Tout, like all these things from like 10 years
Vine.
ago. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I don't see it.
It's an interesting medium to say the least. I see that WWE is trying to indirectly pierce that medium with WWE Speed.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, 5-minute match, that's a constraint, but it's also an interesting way to put a guide rail on a match, just like any other art piece. You'd be able to kind of, because you have those restrictions, makes for better creativity in matches like that.
But if you go back to the Attitude Era,
Oh God,
the
Those matches were like 2 or 3 minutes long.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't, I love AEW. I love but 20, 25-minute matches, it's hard to fit that in with commercials, and because that's where they're trying to make their revenue. So
right.
It's this balance. It's hard.
It's very hard, and you're seeing a lot of major production channels, production companies leaving YouTube. People like Try Guys are leaving well, they're not leaving, but they're creating their own streaming service.
Yeah.
Watcher infamously tried to leave YouTube and almost got destroyed over it. Mythical Entertainment, another big juggernaut. Obviously, they have Good Mythical Morning every day, but they have a separate service called Mythical Society.
Yeah.
You're starting to see a lot of people leave YouTube or indirectly leave YouTube based upon the fact that the algorithm that YouTube is not giving the views that they once were, which means not giving the ad revenues that they once were. Now, to be fair, the wrestling show, we've been doing this for 11 years. We've not run a single ad on our own. We've not done YouTube ads or anything like that. So we're not.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
Yeah,
I did that and I learned the hard way.
Yeah, not worth it.
No. Unless you want a bunch of bots from India,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the reality is that over the course of the years, when people have been on YouTube, you're starting to see almost a mass exodus as well, because Matt Pat and other major YouTube creators are also leaving anyway. So do you believe that we're sitting on a medium that's starting to die?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's those folks have been doing it for so long, and now that they've built up and they're able to kind of create these media companies, that they're bigger than you. They've outgrown YouTube. Whereas, guys like you and me, like we're just trying to build ourselves up, and there's lots of different competition out there. So how do you distinguish yourself from the masses and try to grow? So I don't think YouTube's going anywhere anytime soon. I hope not.
I hope not either. I don't think so. I think you're absolutely right. It's just a generational change that's happening. People, retire, people leave, and more people come in to fill that space. When we started the wrestling show 11 years ago, it was us, Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling, and what? I think not that long after Meltzer did his Wrestling Observer live thing. So that
Meltzer
was it.
followed us.
Yeah, it was legitimately after us. It was us, and Colt was the only one that had done a wrestling podcast before us.
Well, right. It's like, what's going to be the next? How do you get ahead of the curve, and what's going to be next? When AM radio becomes FM radio, becomes TV, cable, XM, Sirius. Like, what's after? I don't know. Who knows? I don't think it's not TikTok, but
I don't even know anymore. It's more
stay
of
in
a
the
guess.
present. Just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Grind it out and see what happens.
So I do want to talk a little bit about wrestling behind the themes and just your love of theme music and stuff like that. So let's kind of get into this. What started the wrestling theme music channel? And more importantly, how the hell did you navigate all the copyright strikes? Because I know you did.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, when you're sitting around and doing nothing, and you've done everything you could possibly do in your house, and all my kids were doing was watching YouTube. I must have been going through like a midlife crisis because I was thinking to myself, well, I bought like a boom box because I had all these old cassette tapes of when I was in radio that I hadn't transferred over to MP3s. So I was listening to myself, back when I was on the air in the early 2000s. I was like, I was okay. I was decent. I could do this. I'm watching wrestling bios. I'm watching Simon Miller. I'm like, I could do this. Let me put together a channel. And so I thought, like, what am I like? I don't want to just do a regular wrestling thing. What can I do that's different? And so I thought I'd go down the theme music avenue because there weren't many channels that were really focused on the theme music. So I started, it was originally called Hit the Music. And it launched like Memorial Day 2021. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Like, you're just trying to learn like thumbnails and, like you said, copyright strikes. Like, all of my first 20 videos like were just copyright strikes left and right because I had no idea. Like, oh, maybe I should pot down this. Maybe I should only use like 10 minutes or 10 seconds. Maybe I should add reverb. Maybe I should, the little kind of nuances to try and get away with it, so to speak. And so that's kind of how I figured it out after a year or two. And then I decided to do a little rebranding, change it to Wrestling Behind the Themes. I did some ads toward the end of last year, and the ads kind of blew up the channel, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So that's when I decided, okay, I need to do something. If I want to keep doing this YouTube, I need to do something new. And my family and I, we're Disney nerds. And there's this guy, Brian Perry, who does Disney Jeopardy. And I said, well, I could do that. And so Disney people are kind of like wrestling people in terms of their fandom and their fanatics. So I have so much wrestling, like random shit floating around in my noggin. I was like, I guess I could be the Alex Trebek of wrestling. I don't know.
I'm shocked nobody did it before you. I'm like,
me too.
Stash Club, like those guys did like 2 episodes. Like I saw WWE Jeopardy. I've seen some other like random, channels that have done maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but nobody really went like full force into, all right, I'm going to create a board. I'm going to have the music. I'm going to like create this whole 15-minute piece of content that's totally interactive and play along. Instead, those videos are, all right, it's one person hosting 3 other guys. Yeah. Kind of like what you said, like originally, Sleazy, like, hey, Kev, can you come on, like quiz us? I was like, well, like it's just do like reactions to it. So I don't know. So we'll see what happens. It's been I put the original Wrestling Jeopardy videos on the Behind the Themes channel because I don't know. I had multiple subscribers. I thought maybe that would translate, and then it really wasn't. So then I said, well, I just need to let me just start anew.
Right. Once again, Ryan's listening to the show.
Oh, yeah.
But he wanted to put out his appreciation for Wrestling Jeopardy.
Ryan, he's the man. I appreciate his enthusiasm, and that helps because it's a grind to do some of this stuff. And like,
yeah, I was going to ask you, like, all the effort you put into it, like. You said it's up here. I'm assuming some of the research you have to do on some of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why some of those other channels you mentioned stopped because it is a lot of work to do all that and think of 200, 400, 600, 800,000 other questions that are hard enough.
Right.
To where it's not like, oh, who made event at WrestleMania 1? Like something everyone basic wrestling knowledge knows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
so so the effort that Ryan even put on there, your effort is amazing, and we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it gives us wrestling fans 15 minutes of, hey, I didn't know that, or oh, I forgot about that, or who was that again? Like,
Yep.
So yeah,
that's the best part. Like trying to come up with that one nugget or that one thing that is like, oh, I totally fucking forgot about that, you know?
Mhm.
Like, and so God bless like the WWE encyclopedia. But like trying to come up with categories, like that's just part of like my daily, like I'll just be going through and my day and trying to figure out like random shit that happens to me. I try and turn that into a category. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I forgot to zipper my fly. So let's come up with a category for wardrobe malfunctions or, you know, something random like that. Like, so, and try and keep a list going. And I don't know. There's so much content and there's so much history in wrestling that it's all there. It's just trying to tap into it and come up with creative questions that aren't too easy, that aren't too hard, that are kind of in that like sweet spot in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I can appreciate your effort. It is amazing. As Fatman can tell you, with our podcast, I'm constantly thinking of new things to put up. I'm doing the graphics, the designs, and everything else for that with ours. And with you, you said it. You think just haphazardly. Okay, this idea just come to you like at the spur of the moment. Do you write things down, or like out of the blue? Did things just come to you like, oh heck, I could use this as a category, or I could use this as an answer? Or you just randomly just think of a wrestler and say, well, okay, I can think of like Ryan just put Hillbilly Jim. Like you just think of a wrestler and like, okay, can I think of a question for a specific wrestler just out of the blue?
So, by the way, props to Dietz for getting Hillbilly Jim as being the last elimination.
I had it.
What did you say? What did you say?
I had Jim Duggan. I had Hillbilly Jim, and I erased it, and I put Jim Duggan.
Sleazy said what? Slaughter?
Yes. Sleazy said Slaughter. No, you had
No, it was somebody stupid.
Ryan had
Repo
Sergeant
Man
Slaughter.
or something like.
Ryan had Sergeant Slaughter. I had.
What was the question?
The question was who is the and they said Fat Man. They were like, man, like you would have gotten this, you would have crushed it. It was the Iron Sheik won the WrestleMania 17 gimmick battle royal. Who did he eliminate to win? Who was the last person?
Yeah, it was Hillbilly Jim. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
Like he knows it. Yeah,
Right.
I had Hillbilly Jim down, and for some reason I changed it to Jim Duggan, and I'm like,
the final four was Brother Love, Hillbilly Jim, Slaughter, and Cheeky Baby.
So the one who couldn't take the bump.
That's why he won it.
It was Duke Drosy, is who I said, because I couldn't remember it. I absolutely couldn't remember it. The only
at
thing
least he was in it. I mean, at least you got that he was in it. So no, Heavy G. Like I text myself a lot, like random stuff, like that. I'm thinking in the future. I try and do things around like events, like. You know, I did a Mother's Day episode.
St. Patrick's Day one.
St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. The Olympics are coming up in France, so maybe I'll do a Parlez-vous Français episode with, or a European episode, or French. I could do Andre the Giant questions, or he deserves his own category, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard a song on the radio the other day by the. See if you guys remember this. The Escape Club from the 80s sang Wild Wild West.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, well, I can do a category about that. So it's just all these random British invasion, just all this random shit that just, ADD.
I literally was just going to say that.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. You know, people gave me shit in elementary school, and you got to be on Ritalin and Dexedrine and all this other crap.
Yeah.
But it's a gift. Like
Batman.
it's amazing. I have a superpower called ADD that I can come up with all this random crap in my head.
Yeah.
About wrestling, that didn't really help me in school, but whatever.
So let's kind of talk about a little bit more of your personal life in terms of professional wrestling. What was your first show you attended live?
1984, Landover, Maryland, Cap Center. Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff. It was a steel cage match. Was the main event. But the thing that blew me away was Intercontinental title changed hands. Tito Santana lost to Greg Valentine like maybe a week or two prior to this event. And like nothing had, like you had no idea when a title changed hands. So like Valentine took off his robe and had the green IC belt. And it was like a holy shit moment. Like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, when did this happen?
There's no internet back then to look it up.
No, of course not. The one thing growing up in the DMV in DC, Maryland, Virginia, the late sportscaster George Michael, he used to run George Michael Sports Machine. He would always cover wrestling. He was a huge fan, and it was random like that they would be on, primetime news, but he would have it on like the 6 o'clock news on like Wednesday nights. It would be like Wednesday wrestling, and he would, have stuff with Hogan or the US Express and stuff like that. So, but no, Cap Center, that was the first, that was my first one. And then I was lucky enough to go to WrestleMania in Philly, brought my son to that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about Philly. I saw that on your Twitter you had pictures recently of being there, and it was just like, wow, okay. Fatman and I did end up going to Philly. In fact, all of us did.
Nice.
The funny part is we went to everything, except Ryan, because Newfoundland,
of course.
Right?
What time is it there right now? It's like 10 o'clock right now.
Yeah,
it is. It's almost it's like 10 o'clock there.
Yeah. But it was funny because we went to all sorts of different shows and different things. The only thing we didn't go to was WrestleMania itself.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the prices.
Of course.
It was, we missed the day that they came on sale.
Okay.
And I was like, well, screw it. We'll wait, see what happens. And then they skyrocketed. I mean, at one point we were looking at $700 for nosebleed seats. And we're like, screw this. We'll wait till day of, see what happens. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we did NXT. We did a terrible BCW show that we legitimately walked. This was the first time this has ever happened to us, but we walked out of a wrestling show.
Wow.
It was
brutal.
Worst show I've ever been to. And
what was this?
And we went to Jakarta. BCW? That's how bad this was.
It was bad.
It was an ECW reunion show. Yeah. So all the average age was 50 years old of the people.
Yes.
Kevin.
We looked it up. It was 50.
My favorite saying is I would say it was piss poor, but it'd be an insult to piss. It was
an actual like wrestling, like
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just like a okay.
Yeah.
They opened, here's
the matches.
Well, it opened with the Dudley Boys versus Tommy Dreamer, and
it was a mystery partner, which was Onita, which Onita was 62 years old.
Yes.
And Onita's the one that got color.
Of course he did.
Because
he's hardcore.
Right?
And he's the only one that took a bump.
He was legitimate. Devon Dudley could not do the headbutt spot.
Wow.
Because his fucking back was so badly
Right.
fucked up.
This
So
is like it's like Heroes of Wrestling or something like that.
Oh,
you wish it was that good. It really, legitimately,
Big Roberts.
worst show I've ever seen.
Right.
And it's hilarious too because of the fact that Bubba Ray had to leave because he was part of the Hall of Fame ceremony the
Right.
same night.
Mhm.
So there was that going on. We did Stardom. We saw Stardom for the first time. We did all sorts of different stuff. But did you see any shows outside of WrestleMania?
No, I drove up. I drove up that afternoon, and then crashed someplace, a hotel in Delaware. Drove my son back home, and then went with a buddy to Sunday night. So it was just kind of like up and back because it wasn't too far, Philly to outside of Baltimore. So, but it was cold as shit on Saturday night. That was not. The Saturday night show was not fun.
Not prime weather for an outdoor venue.
No.
So let me quickly talk about professional wrestling from the indie side. Have you ever attended indie shows? Have you ever gotten out to local stuff? Maryland Championship Wrestling would be out near you, I would assume.
Yeah.
Have you ever done those?
I've done a couple of those, kind of like just like meet and greets to meet like met Kurt Angle. This was right before the pandemic. Didn't really stay for the show. There was an event at a local high school that it was Adrenaline Championship Wrestling. They were at the high school where my wife went, so showed up to see them. Met Tito Santana, Nikolai Volkov when he was still alive. Tony Atlas was supposed to show, but he no-showed. So stuck around with a bunch of guys. There's nobody who, this was probably 2015. There's nobody who I remember seeing at that show who's elevated or moved up the ladder, so to speak. So yeah, I've kind of been just a mainstream guy. Like back in the day when I was working for this, the show was called Inside the Squared Circle, cable access. We went to, it wasn't MCW. I don't even know what it was, but it was some bar. I was underage. It was in Fells Point. Jimmy Snuka was taking bumps of coke. Like,
So in other words, Wednesday.
Man. You remember Rasta the Voodoo Man?
Yep.
Yes.
He was around with some chick in a Toyota like Camry. I'm like, what is going on here? It was eye-opening because I was like 15. Like, what is going on here? So I think I don't know, maybe that's just ingrained in my head. Like, independence, scary.
I'm gonna throw one last thing out there, and then we'll do like a quick mini like rapid fire thing. I'm just gonna let these two go at it with you guys. I know you're a huge college basketball fan.
Oh,
me?
Yes, or at least big enough to know that you're a Mount St. Mary's fan.
Yeah.
Because
that's where I went to school. Yep.
So, what's your thoughts about college basketball and all that, and so on and so forth? I have no idea personally. That's why I'm like, here you go.
I mean, I used to be huge college hoops fan, but now, like nowadays with the transfer portal, like there's no loyalty anymore in college hoops. And it's just
preaching to the choir.
Especially for like the Mount. The Mount is such a small school, like 16 to 1,800 kids. And their head coach just left to take a job. He was there for 6 years. He left, and now he's going to be an assistant at Syracuse. Basically, like, I don't know personally why he left, but my personal opinion is the dude was getting burned out because you go and you recruit your ass off and you get a kid for like a year or two, and maybe he blows up. And then next thing you know, he's at Mississippi, or he transfers to University of Miami or Iowa State. And like, if you're a small school, how do you build a team? You can't build franchises. So it does not, the way college basketball is now, like it's not set up for the little guys to succeed. Sure, you're going to have a 16 upset, like a 1, which was crazy when Fairleigh Dickinson did that and UMBC did that.
Yeah.
And they're able to take, the 15 is able to take it far, but I don't know. I just, it sucks now.
NIL's ruling college basketball.
Yeah, totally.
College sports.
College sports in general, yeah.
And with now 2 super conferences in the SEC and the Big Ten, it's dumb. Like I'm the firm believer of, yes, these kids make billions of dollars for their school. It shouldn't be an NCAA violation for them to make money off their jerseys or make money off their autographs. But to get a salary, you're getting a free education, dude.
Pretty much, right?
Like, they should make money off their jerseys. They can make money off their salary. They can make money off their likenesses in video games. But for them to get paid a salary to play an amateur sport, it's then the money they make should be taken out of their
scholarships.
Scholarship. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they should have to pay for college then. If they want to make money, here's the expense.
Yeah, no, I used to work in higher education, and it's things are changing now. You know, kids do they really want to go to school, or not everybody's fit for college? And do you really want to? I love it. I mean, right? You just drink your face off and have a good time. You don't have to worry about anything because not everybody had phones going around videoing every freaking thing that you're doing. Like, I don't know.
Right. It's not only that. It's also, you say one stupid thing on Twitter. Oh, your career's done.
You're done.
Who cares?
And that could be
they're kids.
That could be 10, 12 years ago that you said that.
Yeah.
And whatever. But getting back to college basketball, I want to ask you, the play-in games, do you think they should all be the 16 seed?
I knew you were going to ask that. I knew you were going to ask that.
The play-in games.
Do you not like that?
He hates it. He thinks he hates it. He thinks every 16 seeds should do it. But I'm all like, is Syracuse going to be a 16 seed when they won 20 games? No, they're not. Like,
let me ask you this: you're talking about the first 4,
right?
The first, yeah.
Would you watch 16, like 8 16 seeds play? Would you watch that?
But the thing is, I don't.
We're the wrong people to ask because we'll watch anything. But
but
the casual fan
hesitated.
But
casual fans, no.
If I'm watching 2 teams playing for a 12 seed, both teams should be in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about this where James Madison won 30 games and they were an 11 seed, or they were a 12 seed. It's like,
right?
Why are they a 12 seed? They lost 2 games all year
because of their conference.
I don't want to. So he brought up the same thing too. And I know this is a wrestling podcast. We'll circle back to it.
Tangent, right?
But in 2015, whatever it was, 12, 14, whatever, Wichita State went undefeated in the Missouri Valley and were the number 1 overall seed. Do not want to hear it. They set that precedent. They have to live by it.
That's a good point.
So anyway,
I don't know. I mean, I think the 16 seeds, I think it has to do a lot with the TV and the ratings. And, if you have UCLA playing or Tennessee, like, Syracuse,
but
bigger fan bases.
But to me, if you're having 2 teams play for a 12, both of those teams deserve to be in the.
They are. They're in the tournament.
Okay,
they're in the first 4.
So they're basically a 47 and 48.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of them's out. Why can't you have the 64 play a 68 to get in?
Because it just has to do with the prestige of the universities, I think.
Yeah.
100%. There was a year where I think Syracuse was a plain 11 seed that made it to the Final 4.
Right.
They didn't even deserve to be in the tournament, but they were an 11 seed.
Right.
But it's because their name was Syracuse. Anyway, circle back, Heavy G. You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
You can have your opinion, and we can know the truth. You know.
Okay, circle back to the wrestling thing. Dietz wants to ask you this: what's the one match you will show a non-wrestling fan?
One match I'd show a non-wrestling fan. Which promotion?
Doesn't matter.
I was trying to buy some time there. It's like I need the Jeopardy theme, like do do do.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll say it. NWA.
NWA.
Hey, we can't say that word. They have attitude.
Right.
I
mean,
the pre-Billy Corgan era.
Yes.
I mean, Sting. I was watching Sting Flair Great American Bash 90 the other day. You know,
Wrong answer.
What's the right
Wow.
answer?
Wow.
What are you gonna say?
It's an opinion, dude. It's an opinion.
Did you say
There's
you asked me a
multiple-
question and have the wrong answer?
There's
Like-
multiple.
No, I'm always, I'm still bitter. I'm still bitter about.
As a question,
I'm still bitter
what
about
is
the
Great
NCAA
American
thing.
Bash. I said that.
I'm still bitter about. I'm
At
still
least
bitter
he
about the
didn't-
You're still bitter
NCAA thing.
about college hoops.
Yeah.
At least he's bitter about. He's a Cowboys fan. Take it easy.
To
I
me,
wish you didn't say-
a non-wrestling fan. I will say, I don't know why.
Just say
HBK Undertaker is popping.
That's
on my head.
one. Like you can say that. You can say Flair Steamboat. I love Angle Benoit matches. You
I
can
would
really
say
say
Steamboat Savage.
Steamboat Savage
Steamboat
from
Savage.
3.
But people don't appreciate that. Like, if you showed a non-wrestling fan, you want to show them like Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville or something like that.
I was
like,
literally gonna say like Hell in the Cell, Taker, Mankind, but like,
Yeah.
like it doesn't have
something
like
that has a gimmick. It's got to
Right.
have a gimmick to it. It
Yeah.
can't be like Steamboat Savage is an all-time classic. But if you're a non-wrestling fan,
you're
don't
not gonna appreciate
that.
it.
You
Shane
need the
McMahon,
Stone Cold, right? You need
Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, King of the Ring.
Yeah, great match.
Yep.
You need Stone Cold versus KO or
Mhm.
yeah, I mean Cody, I don't know.
what
Not
about
like
the
Cody.
original War Games?
Original War Games is great. One of the best. Tower of Doom. Heavy G. Come on.
I can go there.
With Al
Tower of
Perez, the Latin heartthrob. You're bored.
Black Scorpion.
Black Scorpion. No,
Oh God!
you do not show that to anybody. Never. That was terrible. Can you name all 4 Black Scorpions who came out prior to the Nature Boy?
Oh God, no.
Al Perez. That's
Ole Anderson.
No.
Oh God.
Was it
no,
Ole Anderson?
no, wait. Al Perez was going to play the Black Scorpion, but he wanted too much
Right.
money.
He did play the Black Scorpion at the Clash of the Champions in September of 90, but there were like 4 dudes who walked out before the spaceship, like,
Oh,
ended.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm not going to give you guys the answer because now I can obviously save that for a future episode.
Yes.
Oh
So,
goodness.
I'm going to have to do that.
God.
Let me continue on with the quick stuff. Your personal Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Personal Mount Rushmore.
And I know you're gonna ask. Doesn't matter if it's a wrestler, announcer, manager, whatever.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I was going to. I'd say Flair. Flair definitely is on there. Stone Cold, Hogan, and this is where that 4th one is always the tough one because it's like, do you go deep to like Bruno, or do you go to The Rock because he's like the biggest crossover, or
I mean, it's your personal choice. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not going to be a heavy G and be like, you're wrong.
Right. I'm wrong, right? Heavy G, how am I doing so far with those 3? Is that good? Is it decent?
I'll be honest. So here's the thing. I hate Hulk Hogan. He's not on mine. Even though he probably deserves to be on every
He deserves
one.
to be it, though.
He
I know you
deserves
hate him.
to.
I hate him, right?
He deserves it, but I'm not going to put that motherfucker on my list. Hell no.
All right. So
That's me.
I like
Hogan,
this 3.
Nate, Austin, and I'll say The Rock. That's my
Same question, but specifically for you, Mount Rushmore of wrestling themes.
Wrestling themes. Oh man,
That was a good one. I was gonna ask him what his favorite one was. Good job.
man. Oh my God. This is the problem when you do have ADD, and then you have all these like are just flushing to your head. You can't come up with like. I'll go once again. I'll go Flair. 2001 Space Odyssey. I might go classical here and go Savage, Pomp and Circumstance. But I can't go.
Sorry.
What was that? Was that a song?
No, it was actually our song. I
Okay.
was.
I'm looking back here to my. Try and get some hints here. So Flair, Savage. I would say DX is probably one of the good ones. I feel like I got to mix in like.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
What does everybody want?
No, I'm not doing else. No, maybe. No, not Bam Bam Bigelow or Doink the Clown or.
Bam, bam.
Or I always like the Varsity Club.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Mr. Touchdown.
Yeah.
I think you got to do the Road Warriors though. I think that's.
Not American Males. I'm. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think repeating American Males 55,000 times over and over and over again with like a robot voice is not.
Are you talking the Road Warriors when they came out to Iron Man?
Or when maybe they came up with their own version. No, of course, it's got to be Iron Man. It's got to be sad.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Matt Tremont's always going to be a personal fan of mine, even though it's not. It's. Separate Ways by Journey. So it's like, how can you not love that coming down?
Kevin Themes, our Oasis theme song on Settling Differences.
Yeah, which funny enough used to
good
be
one.
our theme to our show for many years because I reached out to Blue Smock Nancy and they gave me permission to use it as long as Kevin was still in WWE and WWE didn't want to license it. But going back to the joke about YouTube and to bring this all full circle, I had so many problems with copyright.
Yeah.
Because of it. I literally gave YouTube the letter from the artist stating that it was okay for us to use it. Nope, didn't matter.
They don't care.
They don't give one goddamn shit.
I was going to ask one more question, but go ahead.
Okay, drink of choice.
Right now it's tequila.
Any particular brand you want to put over?
I'm trying to. I'm doing the old Dax Harwood Clase Azul.
Nice.
I used to run a liquor store, so there's obviously Cuervo, which is like name brand.
Yeah.
There's the hell's it called? Starts with an M. I don't remember what it's called. Tom, my buddy Tom drinks it all the time. Like Milagro.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There was different other ones that Azul was a popular one there too. So we do a thing here. We can say A or B.
Wait, hang on. Wait, I just thought of another theme song.
Okay.
Cody,
look at the kitty.
Cody, right? Squirrel. Cody's Kingdom right now is like.
Yeah.
It's completely blown up. The whole thing, like.
Oh, you're actually missing one massive theme song.
The new Blackjacks.
No,
that's a big one.
No.
The Right to Censor.
It's a current theme song right now.
Chelsea Green.
No.
Roman.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Heat.
No.
Hey! How dare you even try that?
You're saying Cult of Personality?
You're thinking wrong company, sir. You say his name and then he appears.
Oh, of course, Joe Hendry.
Because
I've been trying to figure out a way to work that
Hendry.
into the show, but like I feel like it's so like not everybody knows it, but there's so much good content to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
it's so great.
It's
okay, so we do a thing. We do think A or B. We've been doing this for years. And, of course, the one we always ask, Hogan or Flair?
Flair.
And that's the correct answer.
Yeah.
It really is. In terms of everything but potential merchandise sales, maybe.
Yeah.
It's probably the only time where Hogan puts, I mean,
Draw. Let's see.
Draw.
Hogan's a
That's
bigger
how you
draw,
know
too.
a true wrestling fan. If you
Well-
go Hogan Flair and they say Nate.
Yep, it's Flair.
Then Ryan's
they're
not a
both,
true
like,
wrestling
human
fan.
They're both pretty awful human beings, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, like at that heyday, it should have been WrestleMania 8. It should have been Hogan Flair. But
100% should have been.
Yep.
I have two
100%.
questions. I have two questions for Kevin.
Okay.
One,
wrong answer.
non-
Wrong
one-
answer.
one.
Wrong.
I'm a foodie.
Okay.
Your ultimate meal. Your ultimate favorite meal.
Pizza. Always pizza.
Any particular toppings on your pizza, or
I'm a straight pepperoni dude. I mean, you could throw in some jalapenos there. I like spicy stuff. I'm a big spicy chips. And have you ever tried chips and salsa? Do you like spicy food, Heavy G?
Mhm.
Have you ever tried ghost pepper salsa?
Oh, God.
I'm
no.
not that.
You're not
nuts.
that. You're not that.
I'm not that. nuts.
I tried ghost pepper wings once.
I've tried ghost pepper stuff. That's just nuts.
No, just
Literally. So
scared you up.
Oh,
yeah, I took a bite of it and I just started dripping sweat, crying, and I have a buddy just devouring them, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, I can't feel my tongue, so I'm just going in anyway.
That's not fun. You need to have like there's a specific brand that makes ghost pepper salsa that it's like it's to the line, but it's still flavorful. It's not just like straight like liquid fire. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm a pizza I'm a pizza dude. I could eat pizza breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
My wife's the same way. The second question is, did you see Ric Flair's last match? And if you have, what did you think of it?
I did not see it. No,
Okay.
I wasn't going to pay. for it.
Aren't you glad
No.
you didn't?
Right. I mean, I was following it on Twitter, like, you know.
So I didn't watch it either, and there was a very petty thing I did not watch it for.
Uh-huh.
Nick Gage was on the show, and I fucking hate Nick Gage. I'm not paying for something and supporting him. Yet I went to a GCW show like 2 years
Well,
later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you hate more? Do you hate Nick Gage or here you go, Nick Gage? Fuck Nick Gage or fuck Dave Meltzer?
Whoa.
So Nick Gage is a piece of shit human being who can't wrestle, and all he can do is bump on
Glass.
light tubes.
Yeah.
Jericho exposed him in AEW. Dave Meltzer just makes up shit for his own gain. At least Nick Gage puts his body on the line.
So your answer?
My answer is to hate more
Yeah.
is Meltzer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. So that's going to be it for the interview section here. We're going to go into news and rumors. Kevin, you're welcome to stay to provide some commentary with news and rumors. We're just going around the horn, so to speak, with what we've got going on.
I'm gonna let you guys run with it. This has been fun. We're definitely gonna have to do this again.
Oh,
if you guys will have
100%.
me.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
You're always welcome.
I'm sure Ryan will probably he's probably in a fetal position right now.
He
in the
is
corner.
indeed.
He is.
Oh, definitely.
Confirmed he's crying. If Canadians can cry, I'm not sure.
I don't think they can. They cry tears of maple syrup.
Yeah, they do. They're just like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Quickly then, put yourself over then before you leave.
Well, thank you guys. Wrestling Jeopardy every weekend. As long as I can put it out there, going to keep trying to do new episodes every week. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve and have a bunch of them lined up, especially summertime, because I don't want to be locked in my studio just editing and producing and all this stuff. I want to be out and about and enjoying life. But yeah, Wrestling Jeopardy. Please check it out. Subscribe. every Saturday mornings, depending on where you live, and it's a lot of fun. So,
Excellent. Thank you guys for
Thank you
joining
guys.
us. Thank you.
guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. No.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.
Sleazy, Heavy G, Fat Man. Appreciate you guys having me on. Heavy G, you're wrong.
I
He's
know.
always wrong. He's a Yankees and Cowboys fan. He's always wrong.
Oh my God, terrible. Dude.
Right.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Take care. Thanks
you.
Don't
again.
hold
Thank
it,
you.
Kevin. Don't hold it against me, please. I beg
I
you.
won't. I won't.
All right.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Peace.
Okay, so news and rumors.
Tiffany Stratton signs with a top talent agency because she wants to venture out of the media. She has the assets to do it.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Adam Copeland undergoes surgery for him being an idiot.
That was so stupid. I was going to say dupid because it's dumb.
Dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
No, it was
Dumb.
No, it was stupid.
It was stupid.
It was stupid.
I have a question. Why is AEW not only? Let's just skip Anarchy in the Arena aside, with the RV and the flamethrower. That spot with Adam Copeland, the spot with Kofi Kingston, no, Eddie Kingston. Why are they putting their older wrestlers in that much of jeopardy of getting injured?
Here's the reality. I'm going to start with this. The inmates are running the asylum.
Said it last night. Also, the Copeland spot was he went up there, and I think he forgot. He's like, am I supposed to do a splash or an elbow? And he just was like, I'm going to do a splash. No way, it's an elbow midway. And he just completely just was broke his
I get that, but
Sleazy's mostly right. The inmates are running the asylum. And
we were talking about my buddy Steve and I were talking about the flamethrower spot. We were talking about that. That could have been, well, I was reading your notes, Sleazy, on the show last night. That could have went so wrong. And just by one little thing. And if you don't think, what one little thing could have happened, all I gotta say is one little thing was a piece of cloth got caught on a quick release on Owen Hart's coat, on Owen Hart's cape, and look what happened. I mean, come on. That could have been so like Fat Man said. Tony Khan was right there.
if Darby Allin moved that flamethrower, Tony Khan was that close to it.
Right.
Like it.
Tony Khan's on fire.
Yeah. And yes, I understand that, and I said this last night, Jack Perry had his, dousing stuff to get him caught on fire, and also doused some stuff himself and stuff that, was flame retardant. But that doesn't matter.
He wasn't the only person in the spot.
He wasn't the only person.
Tony Khan wasn't doused in that.
No. Also, Darby Allin, if he's 1 inch or 2 above, that turns out very bad.
Exactly. Why do that? Why put your talent at risk? I mean,
because Sleazy said it. The inmates are in the asylum. Tony Khan's like, I don't care what you do. Make it entertaining. And that's it.
well,
We've been saying this for 5 years. They're a super indie.
that's like what I guess with what CM Punk said in the interview about when Jack Perry wanted to do about the glass thing about. I mean,
yeah.
This spot is exactly the reason why CM Punk said what he said.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right in that. Because had he let that happen, that's exactly what would have happened. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And
So-
I just
Whatever.
With all due respect to the fucking nightmare asshole that is CM Punk, even a broken clock is right twice a day. He was absolutely right about the spot. He was absolutely right about what he said. What happened afterwards is a whole different story.
Right.
But that in of itself also is another shining example of the inmates running the asylum. So people need to realize that
he's working with children.
I mean,
so AEW
And
has
he's
removed.
tired.
AEW's removed these 4 wrestlers from the roster page: Arn Anderson, Jack Hager, Mark Henry, and Paige Van Zandt.
Paige, I'm surprised, was still on there.
Same. Swagger, they never really used much in the last year.
Nope. Rumor has it that Arn's going to WWE to be on-screen manager for Cody.
That makes sense.
I can see it, even though it doesn't make sense because the Andersons hate the Rhodes. I said this when it happened in AEW. It makes 0 sense because it doesn't. It's
how dare you even bring this shit up?
How dare I bring logic into an illogical situation? I'm sorry. According to
fuck Dave Meltzer,
the minimum salary in WWE is $350,000 a year.
For main roster? Okay, whoa. For main roster or period?
It just says the minimum salary. Current main roster minimum salary.
Okay,
I'm just going to say.
So once again, don't forget that that's $350,000 downside guarantee. That is independent contractor money. That's not W-2. So that means they have to pay double the taxes that you would normally have to pay. And also, don't forget that unless you're in that top tier, you're paying for hotel rooms, flights, rental cars, et cetera, et cetera. That $350 sounds like a lot, but it gets whittled away quite a bit.
Even after that, it'll still be like almost 30 times more than what I make. Haha, not really.
Yeah, but you're also not dying in a ring. And you have no
health insurance.
Well, that's on you. You paid for that.
Well, I did.
They're getting paid for that. But I mean, to be fair, that's why that number sounds big, but it's not as big as you think, considering they're on the road 200 plus days a year. They're not getting, days off, so to speak, unless they're injured. There's a reason why that's a high amount. And whatever.
As we went off the show last night, we saw last week, Jordan Grace will challenge for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground.
Shocker. Huge fucking shock.
I like it.
Me too.
I like it. I wish companies would, and I've always said this, I wish companies would collaborate to have like a central title. Like it'd be cool to. I mean,
I wouldn't be against that, but there'll never be a time where that happens.
Oh no, because which company is going to put what person over, and so I know, right. I know logistically it would be a fucking nightmare. I mean,
it'd be fun as a fan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. But it's nice to see like TNA with especially with NXT and everything else. I think it's cool that they're doing it. Now the thing is, you think she's going to win?
No, not at all. I will say this though: if anybody deserves it on the women's roster side in TNA, it's her. Mm-hmm. She's done so much for TNA, but for professional wrestling as a whole. On the women's side of things, she's very talented. She's very capable in the ring. She knows what she's doing. So having WWE basically bring her on multiple times now, because she's doing, obviously she did the Rumble, but she's also doing a TV and she's doing the pay-per-view as well. Mm-hmm. So I'll be very interested to see how much further that goes. If it's just Jordan, if it's going to be more people, I would love it if it's more people. I would love to see the relationship between TNA and WWE that AEW and New Japan has. Where more people are willing to cross over. And to be fair, with what you said before, Heavy G, at the end of the day, they're independent contractors.
Yeah.
We need to start blurring those lines a little bit more if we're going to play the whole independent contractor card more and more.
But I have a question. If they did it with Jordan, if they're doing that with Jordan Grace, why didn't they do that before when they had Mickey James, who was the knockout champion?
So they, whoever, I can't remember who her name was.
Well, Mickey James was the TNA.
No. Whoever Roxanne Perez was supposed to face at Battleground got hurt. So
Wasn't it Cora Jade?
No,
that was a different thing.
I can't. It's gonna bug me now. I can't remember what the fuck her name is.
But I was saying, but you had Mickey James that was in the Rumble as the TNA champion. Why didn't you give her the chance to go for the NXT title when Mickey James was also a part of your roster?
She wasn't part of the roster.
At one point, she was.
Right.
Jordan Grace was never part of your roster, so you could have done this before then.
I understand that. This is necessity.
You think it's because of the regime with McMahon being out?
1, yes. 2, necessity. 3, surprise. You have 3 variables right there. I mean, for what I heard, that Mickey James thing, plus is also still during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but like at the same time, McMahon not being there kind of helps it. And what I want to see is switch it around. WWE talent going to TNA.
Well, you're one part of the way there already. I mean, Shayna Baszler went and worked the GCW show in April.
Right.
I mean, that's not that big of a step from GCW to TNA. Let's be honest here. So having talent that's willing to move and do other things in the wrestling realm that isn't starting with WWE, I'm all for it. Fuck me if I can't sit here and go, holy shit, Xavier Woods is in my GCW show that I just randomly went to, or somebody who's not being used actively on the main roster, have Kevin Steen show up somewhere, at a 2CW show. Obviously that would never happen now, but the reality is now that could possibly be a real thing in 2024. That's cool.
Right. Also, on that same show, NXT last week, Ethan Page showed up.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, there you go.
Current Excite heavyweight champion. Former Excite international champion. Ethan Page showed up.
You done?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting if they have a working relationship with TNA? Dolph's there too now.
They don't have Dolph back unless they're bringing back full time.
No. I think more often you're going to see like a Jordan Grace.
Eddie Edwards. The system. I would absolutely see the system there. I could see.
I can see it, but I don't think it's going to pass.
Eric Young.
Eric Young, maybe. Eric Young, maybe not Diener. Joe Hendry, yes.
Joe Hendry, 100%.
If you're bringing the Knockouts Women's Champion over, I was just going to say, if you're bringing the Knockouts Women's Champion over, why not bring the TNA World Champion over? You want a new thing for Survivor Series, WWE versus TNA.
Oh.
The Rascals reuniting.
Awesome.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there. Machine guns aren't going to work anytime soon, but if they wanted to do one last match as part of the TNA roster, there you go.
You put Callahan in there.
Callahan would absolutely work there now
Huh.
that Vince is
So-
gone.
So I'm just looking.
Solomon Crow.
This is last week. While
What-
we were.
How about Crow and the Wyatt family?
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be Solomon Crow. He'll be Sami Callahan.
it would be Crow.
You imagine
100%. He needs to bring the hacker back.
No,
He's
because
the world's shittiest finisher.
Solomon Crow and Joe Gacy as a tag team.
Oh God.
they're going to go about it because they're not going to stay. They're not going to. They're going to be either one-offs or just monthly feuds.
Yeah,
They're
so
not
he's
gonna-
coming as Sammy, of course.
Yeah, someone is Sammy. Yeah, there's.
It's a joke at this point.
Right.
Is it
The
okay?
entire.
so, I mean, you're a joke, but anyway, going
Wow!
back to,
Fuck you.
going back to last week's news and rumors.
Mhm.
This is after we went off the air. Well, there's no confirmation on who the opponent would be for Perez. WWE officials have requested the main roster talent to fill that role will be Tegan Knox. Were they way wrong?
Yeah, there's no way it was going to be Tegan Knox.
No.
They had been working on this for a while. They were. This wasn't just a, hey, somebody, hey, it's H. You know, what? Scott D'Amori's not there anymore. What? How the fuck do you leave Scott D'Amori out? Anywho, I need Jordan. Yeah, this was months in the making, and everyone knew that.
What if she wins the title?
I doubt she will.
I
really
doubt she will too, but if she does, more eyes are going to go to TNA.
Yeah, and that's
Why
not a
not?
bad thing.
It's not a bad
No,
thing.
no. If you're going to be in partners with them, why not?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Well, here's the thing.
There's nobody that's going to turn off NXT and go watch TNA because of it. There's only going to be people who watch NXT and now TNA.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a win-win for WWE because it makes them look a little bit more pliable. And it's a huge win for TNA because one of their top talents is on another show that could bring views back to them.
Something that the whole AEW thing was supposed to do, and it didn't.
And it didn't. Well, when you drop the fucking title to another fucking AEW guy.
Yeah. That's basically it. I don't really see anything else.
What does Sleazy think about the rumor that Becky Lynch and Ricochet leaked information to AEW?
So here's the thing. Haha. Remember we talked about that last night?
Yes.
I did not see that at all today. Looking up news and rumors. So that might have been a bullshit article from somebody.
Let's say for the sake of argument it's true. They're legally speaking, they're not supposed to interfere. Okay? That's from a very legal standpoint. The reality, people talk. Everyone knows people talk. Somebody says something to somebody who says something to somebody, and voila. That's how the wrestling world works. Do I believe that somehow that got out to them? To AEW? Absolutely. 100%. Does it mean anything? Absolutely not. Nothing. Because at the end of the day, you could throw as much money as you want at Becky Lynch. She ain't going anywhere.
No.
Nope.
I said, there's no way.
And
There's no way.
And it's the same for anybody else who even for a second believes that's leaving WWE. You know, the reality is people don't leave WWE because of money necessarily. People leave WWE because they're frustrated with their spot. They're frustrated with the direction of their character. They're frustrated with the direction of how they want to end their career. Adam Copeland, I'm looking at you, motherfucker. You know,
I don't think he was frustrated.
Yeah, he was.
he outright said it.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
He outright said that he didn't want to do the things that he was done with what they wanted him to do,
Right.
and he wanted to go do something else.
He said that he could do all that he could do at WWE, and he wanted a new challenge.
Malachi Black left because he was frustrated with his character. Andrade left because he was frustrated with his character, and then he left AEW because he was frustrated with his character. You know, but there's a lot of people that nobody left WWE was like, damn, I can make way more. This was not WCW in that respect.
Right.
You know, yeah, Tony is a money mark. We've talked about this before. Yeah, he pays a lot of money to his talent. But at the end of the day, most of the upper tier guys that came from WWE that had a huge spot in WWE are coming to AEW because they want to do something different. John Moxley.
I was just gonna say Moxley.
Claudio. Danielson. You know, they're pretty well off. They don't need the money necessarily.
I mean, as much as we talked about Jericho, look what Jericho's done.
Yeah. Jericho's not hurting for money. That motherfucker's on stage at 50 plus years old fucking around because he wants to be a rock star. He doesn't need the money.
He went from Fandango to doing what he's doing now.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm sure Jericho had a hand in putting Fandango over because that's who he is. He likes to put people over. So, but
that's it.
Okay, Heavy G, put yourself over.
You can catch me in the Hall of Famer on the Best Darn Sports Show, period 2. We are going, for the summer, we're going on pop-up shows, so not really Thursdays at 8, but you'll catch us. We're taking a couple weeks off while that man here is going for neck surgery this Thursday. So we're just going to be popping in every now and again until he is on the mend and gets better. And catch me here for these guys.
Fuck Ryan because, of course, he's working right now. But you can find him on Reddit at r/the wrestling show. He's floating around there at Ryan Buck there. He's on TikTok as well. We talked about TikTok earlier today. And every Thursday night, we've got the Wrestling Show After Dark with Ryan. This week, I don't even know what he's got planned, but he's got something special planned. Heavy G, I believe you're going to be on the show, and I believe Dietz is going to be on the show. Fatman obviously isn't. I probably won't be as well, but you guys have loads of fun over there. Check that out. Live only. Thursday nights, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't even know what it is in Newfoundland time.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. God damn, pal. Only on Twitter, or not Twitter, goddamn. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live. Big thanks to Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can find him on Twitter /X at the Kevin J. Callis. Instagram, thank you. Instagram at the Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
And of course, YouTube at Wrestling Jeopardy. Go on over there, subscribe to his channel, click the notification icon to make sure you're there whenever he uploads a new episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Really, really awesome that he was able to come out to the show today. Now into my normal shit, I guess. I am in TW Sleazy. Fuck you. We are Sleazy Fatman on X, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Please go over there and give us a like. Videos you can find on twitch.tv/SleazyandTheFatman, youtube.com/SleazyandTheFatman, and premium videos on onlyfans.com/The Wrestling Show. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite platform and click that notification icon on YouTube. You can find all sorts of content at thewrestlingshow.com, including merch, articles, other ton of cool stuff, really. You can get this podcast every Saturday morning, wherever you get your podcasts, at Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, all the fun stuff. Don't hesitate to rate us on your favorite platform and click automatic downloads. Once again, that really does help us out. So once again, with a thank you to Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
Thank you. We got it once. Thank you. Thank you, Heavy G. And as always, for Sleazy.
For the Fat Man.
This is the Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am fucking all this up. Peace.
What else is new?
Right?
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Fuck Tony Khan and his alleged coke habit. A hot dog's on a sandwich. A sub is on a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich. A taco and a burrito are not sandwiches.
I'm still waiting for that phone call.
We'll have to wait because I'll be in the neck brace. Maybe next week when we talk NXT Battleground. Maybe.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The bloodshed in your name. When there's nothing to gain.